Hello, this is Jesus Sanchez-Rivera, part of Team A for Valencia's software development project. For this 2023 Capstone project, the scenario was to create a workflow for an employee development fund process. Currently, the EDF forms are filled through an online PDF form, which is then printed and mailed through the interoffice. This process immediately has some flaws in the amount of time it takes to process any number of EDF forms could take a considerable amount of time, and these forms can get lost in the process of going through the inner office. The project was open to the use of any tools to accomplish the task, and a simple idea of how the workflow should work as was given. The team met several times to discuss the project requirements and brainstorm over which tools to use. The plan the team went forward with was to build the program using Python because of its extensive third-party modules that could be used to build a workflow. A web interface was chosen to display and modify the EDF form, and to store all of the information, a local database file was used to store the data to quickly develop the functionality of storing and retrieving data, which could be easily adapted to Valencia's own database solution. The application delivered on most of the project requirements, except for escalating the EDF to the next person that needs to sign and approve the form. These functions could be easily implemented into the application with how the code was set up, through heavily commenting sections of the code and building functions with plenty of reusability. Currently, the EDF application allows a user to register the Valencia ID with the application, see their list of EDF forms they currently have submitted, and create a brand new EDF form. All of the program has been uploaded to GitHub, which served as a way to manage different revisions of the program as the team got closer to a finalized product. This is the initial page of the EDF form, and a user can register the account as long as there isn't one already in a database with the same ID. Cool. I know there's already a user with a Valencia ID of V2000. And if I try to register this account, the program will warn that there's already a user registered in the database. If I create an ID that I know is for a user that hasn't been registered yet, it'll show that the user now has been registered with the EDF form. And if I return to the login page and log in as that new user, now I am currently signed in as that new user. The user's literal password is not stored in the database to avoid any security risks. The way the password is stored is by creating a hash value out of their password. And each user has a unique ID that's assigned to the account, which is used to generate the hash value. This allows for multiple users to have the same password, but unique hash values. Now I'm logged in as the original user that has an EDF form that can be selected from. From here, we can edit the EDF form that's already in the database or create a brand new one. And this EDF form is only being displayed for this user. If I log off and switch to a different account, that user cannot see the other user's EDF form. From here, we'll create a brand new EDF form. And it already filled in as many fields as it can with the information that we provided by logging into the EDF form page. There's an instruction page to show the user how to navigate through the EDF form and what information to enter. In order to move on to the next part of the page, all of the fields have to be entered, which acts as the first method of quality checking the data before entering into the database. Another quality check is to make sure that the course end date does not happen before the course start. which will demonstrate the program catching this error as we try to move on to the next part of the page. As we try to move on, we got a notification saying to check the information that's being entered into the web page. And if we change this date to occur after the start date, we should be able to access the next part of the form. Once we fill in all the information, it'll perform one more quality check before submitting this information to the database. If there were no errors when creating a new EDF form, now we should be able to see it on this list with the date associated from when the EDF is starting, and a new randomly generated ID has been assigned to that EDF form. And if we edit it, we can go back and see the information that we've just entered. From here, we can make any changes if we would like to update the information of the EDF form. We'll change the credit hours to go from 3 to 4. From here, we can return back to the same form that we just edited and see the changes that we've made. From here, we can return back to the EDF menu or log off and switch users. And if we log in as a different user, we can't see the EDF form that we just worked on. And we could start creating a brand new one and editing that EDF form as well. The EDF application has been compiled into an executable using PyInstaller on a folder that contains the executable itself, the local database file, and a folder with all the log files capturing all the events of the application as it's running. Here we can see all the recent events as we navigated through the EDF form and switched users and created a brand new EDF form have been logged to the log file. This has been the EDF Capstone project for Valencia software development for 2023. Thank you for your attention.